You have the job. You have the apartment. You've got Netflix, food delivery, a decent phone, and maybe even someone who loves you. So why do you feel nothing? Like you're just floating through life, numb, disconnected, maybe even stuck in slow motion. Everything's technically fine, but it doesn't feel fine. You smile, but the spark's gone. And the worst part, you can't even explain what's missing. That empty feeling doesn't come from failure. It comes from comfort. Modern life has made things easy, but easy isn't the same as meaningful. Jordan Peterson once said, "Hell is a bad place that's getting worse." And comfort is often the fast lane there. That hits hard. Because when life feels too safe, too padded, too predictable, we stop growing. We stop becoming. And Brené Brown reminds us, you can't selectively numb emotions. When you numb the dark, you numb the light. So all the ways we self-soothe, scrolling, snacking, numbing, hiding, may keep us comfortable, but they also keep us from feeling fully alive. What if the ache you feel isn't a sign that something's wrong with you, but a sign that something right is trying to wake you up? This isn't about throwing away comfort or living in chaos. It's about reconnecting with meaning. Real meaning. The kind that comes from responsibility, growth, and the courage to face life as it really is, not how we wish it was. In this video, we'll uncover why comfort is quietly stealing your purpose and how to reclaim it. Because you were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to become. We live in a world where comfort is a lifestyle. From heated seats to same-day delivery, we've created a life with fewer problems, but also less meaning. But here's the catch, pain didn't disappear. It just got sneakier. Today's pain isn't always a broken bone or a bank account at zero. It's that tight knot in your chest when you wake up. It's the Sunday dread, the quiet feeling that you're living life on mute. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're not doing anything real. As Jordan Peterson puts it, life is suffering. Avoidance of that truth is the birthplace of weakness. When we build our lives around avoiding pain, we also avoid the lessons, the growth, the breakthroughs that come through it. Brené Brown says it best, comfort zones are seductive. They promise safety but rob you of courage. And what is courage, really? It's choosing what's right over what's easy. It's walking into discomfort on purpose because something deeper is calling. That deeper thing is meaning. And it doesn't live in comfort. It lives in the stretch zone where who you are is forced to meet who you could become. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, said, "When we cannot change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." That's not just philosophy, that's survival. And it applies to everyday life. Because while most of us aren't trapped in concentration camps, we are trapped in mental ones. Stuck in jobs we hate, relationships that drain, habits that numb, and yet we stay. Because it's comfortable. Because it's familiar. Because it's easier to scroll than to speak. Easier to binge than to build. But easy doesn't lead to freedom. Discipline does. That's where Robin Sharma comes in. He said, "Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life." Meaning, the people with the most fulfilling lives are usually the ones who voluntarily walk into discomfort. Not because they like pain, but because they like what pain produces. Take Chris Pratt. Before he was Star-Lord in Marvel, he was living in a van in Maui, waiting tables and sleeping in parking lots. But he didn't quit. He kept showing up, kept grinding, kept believing in something bigger than where he was. That discomfort shaped his resilience, and that resilience created his breakthrough. Or Tom Brady, at 45, still dominating in a league full of younger, faster athletes. Why? Not talent alone. Discipline, routine, sacrifice. He treats his body like a temple and his mind like a mission. He doesn't chase comfort. He chases growth. Now look at Shonda Rhimes. The queen of TV once admitted she used to say no to everything out of fear, until she tried saying yes for a year. Public speaking terrified her. Interviews drained her. But discomfort became her path to power. And her vulnerability became her brand. And then there's Demi Lovato. After public breakdowns and near-death moments, she chose healing over hiding. Her journey back wasn't instant. It was painful, but it was real. And that's why it mattered. These stories aren't about fame or talent. They're about truth. The truth that pain is not your enemy. It's your invitation, your compass, your fire alarm saying, hey, wake up. There's more for you than this. And if that fire is burning inside you, good. Because the worst place to be isn't in pain. It's in comfort that slowly kills your purpose. Once you realize comfort isn't working, something shifts. You start asking better questions. Like, why am I really here? What am I building? What legacy will I leave? These aren't small thoughts. They're the kind of questions that signal the beginning of something big. But here's the hard part. Finding meaning isn't a lightning strike. It's a choice. And it starts with one word, responsibility. Jordan Peterson puts it like this: responsibility is the heaviest load, but also the most meaningful. That's not just about paying bills or showing up to work. It's about carrying something bigger than your comfort. Something that forces you to become more than you are now. Brené Brown echoes this in a different tone. Owning your story is the bravest thing you'll ever do. And what does it mean to own your story? It means you stop blaming, stop waiting, and start building a future you're proud of, one step at a time. But how do you start building? It begins with defining goals that actually matter to you. Not goals designed to impress, but goals designed to transform. That's what David Brooks calls second mountain goals. Goals that aren't about ego, but about contribution, connection, and character. He says, we don't become better by thinking our way there. We become better by committing. So, what are you committing to? For Arnold Schwarzenegger, it started with a vision. A poor kid from Austria, he imagined himself on global stages, first as a bodybuilder, then as a Hollywood star, and eventually as a governor. His path was never about comfort. It was about clarity. He said, the mind is the limit. As long as the mind can envision it, you can do it. And he did. For Oprah Winfrey, it was about healing. After surviving trauma and poverty, she didn't just build an empire, she built a mission. She committed to education, empowerment, and emotional honesty. Her goal? Not just success, significance. And it was born out of pain, not privilege. Then there's Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time, and one of the most mentally broken. After retiring, he fell into deep depression. But instead of hiding, he began to speak, to use his voice, to create awareness and change. His pain became his purpose. And Trevor Noah, born under apartheid, the literal product of an illegal relationship, used laughter to process injustice. He didn't just become a comedian. He became a bridge between worlds. His commitment, telling hard truths with grace. What do these people have in common? They stopped living by default and started living by design. And they understood something powerful. Identity isn't fixed. It's built. That's exactly what psychologist Carol Dweck teaches. Her research on growth mindset shows that people who believe they can change do. She says, becoming is better than being. Why? Because being is static. Becoming is dynamic. And life only happens in the dynamic. But to start becoming, you have to stop pretending you're already there. That's the trap of perfectionism. That's the lie of comparison. That's the reason so many people feel like imposters in their own lives, because they're performing someone else's dream. Meaning doesn't come from perfection. It comes from progress. From showing up even when it's messy. From choosing purpose over ease. From saying, this is the path I'm walking, flaws and all. So let me ask you, if your future self could talk to you right now, would they thank you for the way you're living today? At some point in your journey, just having a purpose isn't enough. You need to protect it. And the way you do that is with discipline. Not the harsh, punishing kind, but the kind that aligns your daily actions with your deepest values. Because meaning without discipline is a dream. Discipline without meaning is a cage. But when you combine them, you unlock transformation. Jordan Peterson calls it out directly, hell is real. You build it by abandoning your responsibility. That's not a metaphor. It's a warning. Every time you avoid the difficult thing you know you should do, your life gets a little smaller, a little heavier, a little darker. Brené Brown gives us the other half. Courage starts with showing up and letting yourself be seen. And showing up isn't a one-time choice. It's a daily one. Especially when no one's watching. That's where grit comes in. Angela Duckworth, psychologist and author of Grit, explains it like this: passion and perseverance matter more than talent. Translation: it's not about being gifted. It's about being consistent. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be aligned. That's exactly what Morgan Freeman discovered. Most actors peak in their 20s or 30s. Morgan, he didn't land his breakout role until he was over 50. And when he did, he stepped into it fully, grounded, wise, and prepared. Not because he got lucky, but because he stayed ready. Or look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wakes up at 4 a.m. to train every single day. Not because he has to, but because discipline creates space for the man he wants to be. He says, success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. And success, for him, isn't just about muscles. It's about mindset. Serena Williams? Same story. Her athleticism is legendary, but it's her discipline that made her a champion for 2 decades. All while raising a daughter, advocating for equity, and reinventing her game at every stage. She doesn't chase balance. She chases alignment. And Elizabeth Gilbert, best known for Eat, Pray, Love, could have stopped after one global hit. But she didn't. She kept writing, kept creating, kept exploring spirituality and healing, even when it meant stepping away from the spotlight. Because her discipline wasn't about producing. It was about becoming. That's the goal, becoming. But you can't become someone new while clinging to your old habits, old excuses, or old comfort zones. Joe Dispenza bridges science and spirit by saying, to change is to think greater than your environment. Meaning, you're not a prisoner of your past, your mood, or your circumstances. Your mind creates your direction. That's why discipline isn't about punishment. It's about integrity. It's choosing your higher self over your current mood. Choosing action over delay. Choosing vision over distraction. And here's the truth, you already know what needs to change. You already feel it. That quiet voice that says, you're meant for more. That voice isn't lying. It's leading. But it's up to you to follow. Because becoming who you're meant to be isn't a weekend project. It's a sacred commitment. A spiritual practice. A path that requires faith, effort, and a refusal to quit when it gets hard. So here's the question. Will you protect your purpose with your discipline? Or will you let comfort steal your becoming? So here we are. You started this video with a question you couldn't quite name. That quiet ache. That hollow feeling even when everything seems fine. And maybe now, you know what it is. It's not that you're broken. It's that you're becoming. You were never meant to stay comfortable. You were meant to grow, to stretch, to reach for something bigger than the next distraction. You were meant to carry weight, and through it discover your strength. Jordan Peterson said, the world needs you, not the comfortable you, the responsible you. That version of you isn't perfect. But it shows up. It steps forward. It carries the load because it understands that meaning doesn't come from ease. It comes from effort. Brené Brown reminds us, you are enough, but you were never meant to stay the same. That's the paradox of growth. You start where you are, but you don't stop there. You rise. You rebuild. You evolve. And the path isn't linear. It's messy. It's full of moments when you'll want to quit. But those moments are sacred. Because every time you keep going, you're not just surviving, you're shaping who you are becoming. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for confidence. Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Start by taking responsibility. Start by choosing purpose over comfort. Start by showing up. And if this message stirred something in you, then you already know it's time. Time to step into the life you were meant to live. Time to become someone the world can count on. Time to become you, the real you. The stronger you. The one who carries meaning, not just memories. If that's a journey you believe in, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it too. Because we're not here to stay safe. We're here to become something greater.
Hey, incredible growth seekers. Wow, what a journey. If this video resonated, subscribe now for more life-changing content. Join our community of self-improvers. Smash that like button to fuel more content on mindfulness, goal setting, and emotional intelligence. Share this video to create a ripple of positive change. Comment below about your growth journey. Your insights shape our content. Next week, boosting self-confidence and overcoming limiting beliefs. Don't miss it. Every interaction brings us closer to a world of empowered individuals. Let's make personal development global. Stay inspired, keep growing. Your best self awaits. Let's unlock it together.